back to The World is Storytelling with me, Ronni. Oh wow, what an echo there is in here where I'm recording this intro. I hope you can hear me alright. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? You're not going to reply anyway. What a sad thing. Anyway, that's a tangent. So, welcome back to The World is Storytelling with me, Ronni. And this week with the fantastic Oisín Ó Néill. Oisín and I, a while ago, we went for a lovely walk through woodland in County Wicklow and then up to the peak, the county top of Dublin, Kippure. And it was a beautiful day, not weather-wise, but in all other ways. And I'm sure you will gain as much out of listening to Oisín as I did from spending the day with him. Check out the Gaelic Woodland Project, which Oisín is one of the directors of. And as always, send me in ideas of who I should be climbing hills with. And before we get on with today's episode, I have something to share with you all. Yes, I used to have a lot of fears to do with speed bumps, but I'm slowly getting over them. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, thanks very much for listening and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
So tell a story, one that is true. Yeah.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
There, oh, perfect. I see you're an absolute professional in this.
Oh, yeah, many times. This is my first rodeo.
No.
No, so actually only my second.
Your second rodeo, yeah.
Yeah. In the podcasting world.
And how about actual rodeos? Have you ever done any rodeos?
Never.
No.
I have a bad sense of balance. I don't think I do well. My name is Oisín Ó Néill, and today we are in Coronation Woods in Wicklow. This is a mixed woodland of oak and Scots pine, mature trees. This wood was planted in 1831 to celebrate the coronation of King William IV, I believe. And this woodland is a very special woodland. It's a nice example, a rare example of a type of woodland that you wouldn't see very often in Ireland anymore. It is an upland mixed wood, and the reason you wouldn't see these type of woods in Ireland very often these days is because most of the Irish uplands have been cleared of any native woods hundreds of years ago, and now most of the forestry in the uplands is made up of Sitka spruce plantations, which is a non-native spruce tree, and these are grown in very close proximity to each other to form very dense, fast-growing stands of timber, and they support very little biodiversity. This place in Wicklow is a very special place. It is kind of an example of what could be if we had a system where we valued biodiversity and ecological integrity over short-term economic gain.
Yeah.
If that was the priorities of the forestry industry. Yeah, so this is a lovely place. Now it's not perfect. We've just been walking around and we've seen that there isn't much natural regeneration. We've seen some deer walking around, we've seen some sheep walking around the area.
Very funny looking sheep.
Very funny, yeah, painted red.
Yeah.
So those sheep being here mean that nothing new, no new trees will grow. We have seen they are trying to grow some trees, some young trees in plastic protective sleeves.
Yeah.
Which is lovely to see, but it would be a lot lovelier if we could see some natural regeneration, if the area was maybe fenced off for a while.
I was trying to think about the difference between the Sitka spruce that we see in the background over there, which is on the slopes of Kippure, which we hopefully will go up soon, and then down to where we are, and that is so samey. The randomness, the inherent randomness of nature is what we're missing. And if we just look at this tree over here with all the little gnarly movements, towards the sun and away from the sun, and as that changes and another tree blows down, It's powerful, and we're here by this beautiful stream, this brook, this river.
Yeah.
And you've been telling me about the Gaelic Woodland Project, which is something that you're one of the directors of. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So the Gaelic Woodland Project was founded in 2019 by Owen Connaughton. He's an ecologist, a very good friend of mine. And it initially started as a group of lads going into the forest to remove invasive species. The invasive species we work with in particular is called cherry laurel. So yeah, the Gaelic Woodland Project is a charity. We're involved in a few different things, including public advocacy campaigns. We're involved in rewilding projects where we have bought land and we've returned this land to nature. And we're also very much involved with community empowerment. We have monthly mehels. Mehel is the Irish word for a kind of a community work day. So we have these mehels where people from all walks of life join us, either for a tree planting or invasive species removal day. And we would go into a forest and we would remove invasive species, and we would play traditional music and people would get to know each other. We are a space for the Irish language as well. People find it hard to still make connections and can make new friends, especially as we go into adulthood. And you hear a lot about these just kind of like loneliness epidemic and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So you're really hitting a lot of different aspects with the nature, with the appreciation for nature, and being able to bring people together. Like I've made some lifelong friends from these gatherings, and a lot of people have made friends from it. So it's beautiful to be able to facilitate that.
Yeah.
And facilitate these connections, and of course to bring the Irish language into it, and even people who wouldn't have been gaeilgeoirs. When you're in an environment and you hear this, I think it inspires other people to also want to do that. I have a few friends now from the Gaelic Woodland Project who aren't gaeilgeoirs, and some of them aren't even Irish, and they're all gone up to Donegal this week to spend a week in the Gaeltacht.
Oh, really?
The adult course is up in the Gaeltacht.
Nice.
So there's so many beautiful, magical outcomes from these mehels. People really love it. People love the mehels, and we're very grateful to our volunteers who come out with us, and we're very, very grateful to the people who allow us to work on their land as well. It's very beautiful parts of the country that we're allowed to work in. At the moment, our work site is in Lisnava House in County Carlow, and they have some beautiful ancient oaks and ash and other pine trees in their forests. So it's a great way to show our volunteers an example of a mixed semi-native woodland, and also at the same time to teach them about invasive species and allow them to work to remove the invasive species. And the reason we have a lot of invasive species in these areas is because we're working on some of the old Anglo estates.
Yeah.
So these areas would have some of the old growth forests in Ireland, because the forests were allowed to they weren't felled because they wanted a place for hunting deer. They wanted to have a nice forest, but also a lot of these invasive species were introduced during Victorian times when the Victorians grew very fond of their gardening, and they were importing trees from all over the empire. And unfortunately, some of these plants became invasive species. Not all of them, a few of them. And so these estates are some of the epicenters of the invasive species outbreaks in the country.
Yeah. Wow. And you're working against that. I mean, in English, I suppose in my head, I don't know if this is right, there's a difference between a forest and a woodland. The forest always seems more dark, you know, and maybe more samey, whereas a woodland has this magic to it and diversity to it. Is there the same thing in Irish? What is the Irish for woodland or forest?
A quail would be a woodland. Coillte, the semi-state body who are involved in a lot of the forestry in Ireland have used that Irish word. So now I think people might, when they think of the word quail, they may be prone to thinking about coiltte, and some people aren't exactly too pleased with how coiltte have been managing forests.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but for me, as a native Irish speaker, Quill would be a woodland, and then Farisha would be forest.
Okay.
And then even in English, I would think of woodland. I'd be of the same opinion. You woodland and forest. That's kind of two different things. When I think of forestry, I would think of the Sitka spruce, the monoculture forestry model. And when I think of woodland, I would think of a woodland glade or something. It just seems more natural. Like forestry is more. It sounds more industrial to me.
Yeah, I suppose, and it's a bit more, maybe this is all the stories we grew up on, but like foreboding, in a sense, which in some ways,
dark forest,
the dark forest,
forest.
Yeah. Well, capitalism, it can be foreboding sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Quite a lot.
I was doing the Camino there recently. I know you've had a lot of great experiences yourself on the Camino, and I was walking through Galicia, and I was struck by how magical the Galician temperate forests are. They have beautiful oak forests over there, and it's a very similar landscape. People say Galicia and Ireland are similar. They're both Celtic regions. They're both very green. It rains a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of parallels. There's a lot of similarities, I would say, between Galicia and Ireland. And when I was walking through some of these woods in Galicia, some of these oak forests, I was really, really struck by that. And it does remind me actually a lot of this, where here we are, we're surrounded by about 20 mature oak trees, which is, you don't find that very often in Ireland, but it does remind me of Galicia, especially with the river as well. Very similar weather we're having right now as well. But over the past year, I've been very fortunate. Last summer, I was in Clare and I visited Brian Boru's oak, and it's an absolutely magnificent oak. And the story is, Brian Boru, he was around 1,000 years ago, and he was a king down in Clare, and his lands were invaded at some point, and they had this ancient ceremonial oak tree, and it was cut down by the invaders. And then Brian Boru fought back, pushed them back to Dublin, and then he had the famous Battle of Clontarf when the Irish army beat off the invading Norse armies. But the story goes that when Brian Boru then returned to his homeland, he planted an oak tree to replace the one that was cut down. And now there's an oak tree in Clare called Brian Boru's oak, and the story is that this is the oak that was planted by Brian Boru, and it's estimated the oak is anywhere between 800 to 1,000 years old. So that's an absolutely magnificent. Its wingspan is 25 feet, and there's people collecting acorns from it every year and carrying on those genetics, which are, it's just a very special tree, and I've been very fortunate in the last year to encounter lots of very special trees and areas of nature, and it's through the work I've been doing with the Gaelic Woodland Project that I've been able to access these areas in Ireland, and I feel very fortunate for that. Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't want to interrupt you, but we just had the red sheep just all ganged up. They've gone now, but they ganged up again like they did before by the gate, just staring at us with the. There's something a bit menacing about the redness on them. I don't know. It's like kind of like an orangey, as if they're just rusting. But I know wool doesn't rust, or maybe it does. Maybe the Wicklow wool does rust.
The Wicklow wool.
What's the Irish for oak, ash, and hawthorn?
So the oak is a dar, and a young dar is a daróg.
Okay.
The ash is a fuinseog, and the hawthorn is the sceachgeal. Yeah.
I don't think I welcomed you originally. Welcome, Oisín, to The World is Storytelling, and now we are in a lovely little shed.
Yes, one of the loveliest sheds I've ever been.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And anyone can sit in it. It almost feels like we should give them a shout out at the Timber Cafe somewhere it's in the foothills of...
Right beside Massey Woods.
Okay.
And the Hellfire Club. It is a shed shop.
A shed shop. Yeah. Everyone needs a good shed shop in their lives. And since the first recording, we've We've been up Kippure,
We have, yeah.
the highest mountain in County Dublin. So we've hit the county top of Dublin. We didn't see a thing.
No, we were unfortunate,
Uh,
but fortunate as well.
We were very fortunate. It was a lovely, lovely walk,
Mm.
albeit wet
Yeah.
and windy. No, not so windy, but very wet at the top and foggy. And now we've come down and we're very civilized. We've stopped for a coffee. We're sat in a shed. There's something really magical about a hedgerow. I remember when I was in school, myself and my friends, we spent a long time cutting out the inside of a hedge.
Okay, yeah.
We had little like caves inside the hedge. You know, we thought it was fantastic. What's your favourite memory of wandering about a forest, or in a hedge, or climbing a tree, making a wigwam?
I would say it's always been for me planting forests from a very young age. I've been planting forests. Where I grew up in Waterford, we live on a coast, and when we first moved in, there was very, very bad coastal erosion.
Yeah.
So I was maybe 5 or 6 at the time, but myself and my dad and my uncle, who knew a lot about tree planting, he was saying, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to plant trees on the cliff that'll stop the erosion. So I have very, very early memories of going down the boots with the mud up to the knees and planting alder and willow. And then after a few years, those alder and willow are actually super trees. You know, you can grow willow just from cuttings.
Yeah.
It's absolutely super tree like. And now when I look at that area, that cliff, it's a very, very vibrant, lush forest. It's turned into a forest now 20 something years later.
Amazing.
And I kind of continued on with that because the stretch of eroded coastline goes on for kilometers.
Yeah.
So over the years I was kind of like planting along that. So I've great memories of planting trees, and that started from a very, very early age. So yeah, my strongest memories, and that's really, that obviously imprinted on me so much, because now it's nearly back full circle, and I'm back planting trees again and looking after forests in different capacities as well, with a public advocacy campaign.
Wouldn't it be nice if all the woodlands were natural?
It would.
It would.
Yeah.
And
I've one, but it may be taken badly by some Kerry people.
oh, go on.
How do you get a one-armed Kerry man out of a tree?
How?
You wave at him. He'll wave back.
Oh, does it? Sorry, I'm a bit slow today. You've even, I have to say for the audience, you know, Oisín has bought me a coffee, and even after the coffee, the brain is still working a bit slow.
You might have to cut out that joke though, or I'll make some enemies.
This is it, you know.
The Healy Rays.
They'll come after you.
Yeah.
You don't know. We were talking about keeping things, professional.
Yeah,
on
professional.
brand. Any other jokes about Waterford people? Because then you can, say it's on yourself, or.
I guess the joke about Waterford people is the people themselves.
Oh, whew.
No, that was cutting. I'm a Waterford man, so it's a self-deprecating joke. I'd say.
That's always.
I am proud of the fact I have been able to become part of this community that has been built up around the Gaelic Woodland Project. I was talking about this earlier, but before I actually got involved, I was like many Irish people thinking about emigrating for various reasons, and then I got involved with the Gaelic Woodland Project, and from that I found my community, my tribe, and it gave me lots of reasons to get involved in Irish culture, and I've made some great friends, and so I've just been really proud to be part of that movement and to be able to hold space for some of the activities that we're doing. And there's so many great things that are going on with and through that movement, and to be able to be part of that, whether it be the restoration of nature or the giving space for the Irish language, or the whole community aspect of teaching, educational awareness, it's just been a real pleasure and it's been a real joy, and I'm humbled to be part of it, and I am proud to be part of it, and I am proud to be someone who has been able to be part of it. So I would say that's what I'm proud about. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's it's really cool. And how you describe the, a woodland with the revival of a woodland, a positive space for the Irish language. You can just imagine the spirits of the past dancing around the woodland.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you, Oisín.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for today.
This is such a beautiful day. It was an absolute pleasure to go walking with you and talking, and I've learnt a lot as well.
Likewise, thank you. It's been really, really lovely.
Yeah.
And, amazing. Well, I'm sure that yourself and the Gaelic Woodland Project is going to carry on and do amazing things, and
hopefully
coming to a vibrant forest near you.
Yeah.
And you know what would happen? After you have these amazing forests that you'll have brought back, then the birds would land on them.
They'll know.
They would land on them if they had them.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a joke. They would land.
Oh, they would land.
It would be the Woodland Project.
That's
they
good.
would land on the.
That one went up right over my head.
Well, that's what the birds do.
Yeah.
No, but here's to the a restoration of fantastic stories and trees.
Long
throughout
may it
this
continue.
island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into that. And thank you so much for taking a day to wander about the mountains with me.
Gurv Margaret.
How do I respond to that?
To Fulcher wrote is you're welcome, or
Yeah.
you could say win me on Tanav as an law. I enjoyed the day. And,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, let's start with the first one because that felt slightly easier. To
Fulcher wrote.
wrote.
Yeah, you're
To
welcome.
Fulcher wrote.
Yeah.
Fulcher wrote. Thank
Thank
you so much.
Some say the old ruins in the sand tell us every story will come to an end. But my dear, we can live what we tell. We are storytelling animals.